My name's Tosh, and in this video, I'm going to be talking a little bit about my training goals in preparing for my 2026 Appalachian Trail Thru-Hike attempt. Because of the physical challenges and the relatively high rate of injury, I'm going to be taking a little bit of an unorthodox approach to preparing for this trip. So my primary goal, even above getting to Maine, is to minimize my chances of injury, whether in the form of tendinitis, balance-related falls, sprains, dislocations. I decided the best way to try to avoid these kinds of injuries is to put a heavy emphasis on strength training and stretching. Building muscle is considered one of the best ways of preventing overuse injuries and twisting injuries. And with just about 20 years of weightlifting experience under my belt, it makes sense for me to use that to my advantage. I'll be focusing specifically on free weights. That way I also get the added benefit of improving my balance. I don't think that I would have the confidence to take something like this on without pulling out all of the stops. My first goal over the next few months is to get myself on a persistent schedule of weightlifting at least 3 times a week. As a way of holding myself accountable and having a little fun with it. I'll be releasing short videos clocking what I did that day. So the reason I set this goal for myself is because I can definitely tell that I've gotten a little more lax with my training in my older years. I bench pressed my first barbell when I was 13 and officially started weight training when I was about 17. So it has been quite a stretch. Unfortunately, I feel like it is easy to get a little bit complacent when you've been doing something for that long. So I'm hoping that making this kind of commitment, uploading the short videos, will help me to stay focused on that long-term goal. My second goal, which is sort of related to the first goal, but also kind of its own thing, is to finally and hopefully correct my squats. I've had a lot of issues with squats over the years, and considering how beneficial that particular exercise is or would be for preparing for a hike like this, I think it's time for me to finally force myself to figure it out. So without getting into a ton of detail, I do have some medical issues that make squats a little more difficult for me. Okay, so this is basically what happens when I try to squat. So as you can see, my heels cannot touch the ground. That actually has a lot to do with the fact that I spent most of my childhood walking on my tippy toes, and there wasn't really a clear explanation for why I did that. I developed very tight calves, which in turn affected my ankle mobility, as you can probably see as well. I'm also knock-kneed, which means my knees can touch, but my ankles cannot. Got a ruler, so that's about 3 inches difference. My ankles should be touching. So this unfortunately puts me at a higher risk of ankle sprains, knee dislocations, and hip problems, all of which I have dealt with at one point or another. But I also do not want to let myself off too easy either. I have to be honest about the fact that I know that I have not done the work. If I feel like I'm not seeing the progress that I want to make, or if the progress is too slow, I tend to just stop doing it. I have gotten to the point where I've seen improvements, but I quit and I become impatient. I feel like there is no better opportunity than this for me to actually really make an effort and really try to iron this thing out and try to stick with it. So those are pretty much my goals for my 2026 Appalachian Trail Thru-Hike attempt. If you want to follow along, you know what to do, and I will see you in the next one.